Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering the woke backlash. These companies are not getting away with it anymore. They used to be able to do whatever they want. You couldn't do anything as consumers. You just had to take it. Ever since Bud Light, things are accelerating really quickly, and companies are having to respond aggressively to try to fix the messes that they've made. Woke maniacs are now panicking at Target, pulling all kinds of trans products that customers were very upset with. And on top of that, their stock is tanking. This just came out today. Their stock is down almost 3%, and that represents as much as $2 billion on the value of Target stock. We've all heard that Bud Light stock is getting beaten up, but now Target is getting it too. They are very nervous over at Target. Disney's reputation has taken a major hit. This comes from Axios. A study has shown through a Harris poll that Disney's reputation is not what it used to be, and that hurts all of their brands, all of their business, and all of their future potential, and all because of the wokeness, all because of the nonsense Disney's been trying to push through their entertainment on children. Parents don't like it. Bud Light, as mentioned, their stock is in severe trouble. Their stock is down more than $15.7 billion. Their stock, I was just looking at it last night. I did a video last night and I was explaining that the market cap of the company was reduced to $116 billion. It's now down to $114 billion. And next week, after Memorial Day, when people see, wait a minute, no one's buying this Bud Light beer, it's going to be even worse. And if you're someone that watches stocks, I always like to say, we all look at where the stock has been high and low for the last 52 weeks. The low for the stock since October 2022 was around an $89 billion value. That is going to be like $25 billion less than it is now. We keep getting closer and closer to that absolute low value for Bud Light stock because it keeps going down. $2 billion in one day is a tremendous drop, even for a company of this size. Let's get into the first article. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. I really appreciate you guys. Coming from Daily Mail, Target pulls trans products and claims it's because of threats to staffers and not over Bud Light style boycott fears. You know, we haven't heard about any of these threats in the media. Of course, with people having iPhones and the ability to record things everywhere, if there were actual threats, we would have seen it already on the news. And people would have been arrested. Why wouldn't you arrest people if they were threatening others? Target is still not being honest with their customers. And with that, and with the stock drop happening today, I mean, this is really potentially very bad for Target. I'm not expecting to see a Bud Light kind of situation because Target can correct what they've done by getting rid of all this merchandise that's offending people. But it depends on what their attitude is to their customers. It still counts. Some marketing people do understand that it's important what your customers think of you. This is coming from Digiday Marketing Briefing. Marketers are closely watching the backlash to woke advertising from Bud Light, Miller Lite, and Adidas because these marketers know not only will companies lose money, but these people will lose their jobs, their lives, and their careers. You're not going to hear a lot more from Melissa Heinerschied, the executive who was the first woman to run Bud Light, because she's lost her job, and she lost her job because of what she did to the Bud Light brand. Not exactly great for the resume. And marketers, yes, they're woke, but they still want to maintain their jobs and have a career. Target has pulled some of the most controversial items from its Pride collection in the face of a Bud Light style boycott, but it's doubling down on its commitment to LGBT causes and blaming volatile complaints for its decision, so that it's out of their control. Over the last few weeks, the retail giant has been reviled by families, particularly mothers, for pushing transgender clothes, books, and greeting cards in its stores. Yesterday, amid outrage and confusion over a range of tuck-friendly female swimsuits, the company released a statement to insist the suits were only available in adult sizes. You know, when you're in that kind of a situation and you're saying, hey, sorry, look, the tuck-friendly suits, it's only in adult sizes. Like, look, is that a conversation if you're a retailer that you want to be having? Don't you want to have the kind of conversation of, hey, look, we've got this great merchandise for you. It's low priced. It's a special deal for our loyal customers. It looks fantastic. That's the kind of conversation you want to have. Not, oh, well, the tuck-friendly stuff is not related to children, it's only related to adults. Obviously completely inappropriate and not good for their brand. This is the boycott they're talking about. Customers calling for Bud Light treatment of Target over transgender line of children's clothes. This is all about what we call normalization. Normalization refers to a process that's a sociological process. It's also called social normalization, the process through which ideas and behaviors that fall outside social norms come to be regarded as normal. The more you see of it, the more normal it is. So whatever it is that Disney wants to push, whatever it is that Bud Light wants to push, whatever tuck-friendly clothes that Target wants to feature, that's what they're trying to make normal for the rest of the population. Children, adults, everyone. Why is this important? It's part of a social agenda to control people. If you've never seen this documentary, it is fantastic. It's a 4-hour documentary by Adam Curtis from the BBC called The Century of the Self, and it talks about how Americans were essentially brainwashed into being consumers. We were not a consumer culture in the 1800s. We were a consumer culture when Edward Bernays and Sigmund Freud were done messing with the American culture, and it was supported by powerful interests. Fascinating. I'll make sure I have a link to this in the description below. So you can see as of Target's status today, they've lost 2.74% on their stock, and that's a little bit more than $600 million for every percent lost. When they get up to 3%, it'll be approximately $2 billion. So far, it is over $1.5 billion. Now, Disney's reputation took a major hit. This is coming from Outkick. Disney's reputation plummets following Don't Say Gay opposition. And you could feel when this was happening, you're paying attention to the media at the time, Disney came out very aggressively attacking Florida for their parental rights protection law. And it was voted on by the legislature, and it was passed. And Disney was very angry about this. And all of the promotion of this law was essentially to say, look, we want to protect children. Kindergarten through 3rd grade, we don't want them exposed to certain mature and adult-related themes as far as the governor and the legislature were concerned. And Disney was against that. Well, this is what happened. In 2014, Axios Harris found Disney carried a reputation score of 83 out of 100. The score represents measurements across multiple dimensions such as character, trust, and trajectory. That number has since declined to 70.9. That's a big drop. This is from Axios, Disney's Axios Harris Poll 100 reputation score. The company now ranks as the 5th most polarizing brand of the 100 brands. Axios cites, quote, polarizing political drama for the precipitous fall. Specifically, the study references Disney's tangling with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over students' LGBT rights. And DeSantis is extremely popular in Florida. Quote, in voicing opposition to DeSantis' so-called Don't Say Gay bill last year, Disney gained favor with the Democrats, but took such a large reputational hit with Republicans that its overall reputation score was severely impacted. Disney's reputation score increased to 80% from 72% among Democrats, while it plunged to 61% from 75% among Republicans. That's a gap of 19% and 14 points higher than the average. In all, Disney lost momentum across each of the 9 attributes the poll measured. So Disney is no longer a trusted brand with many Republicans and with some Democrats. And when you hear about the opposition to the, quote, Don't Say Gay bill, it wasn't just their opposition to the bill. After the bill was passed as a law, Bob Chapek, then CEO of Disney, said he would come out and they would use all their resources to get the law overturned. That's actually a bigger deal because it's not just them making a statement saying they don't agree with this bill that's been proposed. They want to lobby against it. That's one thing. When they say they want to overturn the laws of the state, that's a little bit too aggressive for most people who trust their kids to Disney's entertainment and spend their money on Disney's products and services. It was a major betrayal for a lot of us that really believed in Disney and trusted Disney for decades. The Bud Light boycott has already cost Anheuser-Busch $15 to $17 billion worth of their stock value. Analysts have said, look, we think that eventually this is going to turn around. We don't know what's going on. It's because this has never happened before. It's important to note, even if things settle down for them, you shouldn't expect the value of the stock to go beyond the $90 or so billion it was worth a few months ago, because it's not going to grow. It's not going to do well. They've gotten themselves into this trouble. And when you look at Bud Light, at the very least, they're going to lose half the value of the brand, if not all of the value of the brand. It's a serious loss. It was $4.8 billion in cans and bottles sold per year. They're in serious trouble. What I also haven't seen covered, Anheuser-Busch as a company, to get where they've been, have done a lot of acquisitions based on a lot of debt. Right now, Anheuser-Busch, Bud's parent company, still has $69 billion in debt. They've been able to pay down some debt. That's been great over the years. But now, with the disaster with the Bud Light brand and the negative effects on their other brands in the United States, at the very least, you have to kind of wonder when $69 billion in debt is going to start to become a problem for these guys. Again, another reason to just say, maybe you guys shouldn't have done this. And as marketers are starting to do, they are starting to realize, we've got to cool it back a little bit before we get our customers really upset and lose them forever. And worst of all things, these people who want to be busily abusing their power, pushing social agendas, instead of just getting people the products and services that they actually want and need, now they're cutting back because they're realizing, hey, wait a minute, I could actually lose my job and my career and my fancy little 401k stuff. So they're cooling out a little bit. But let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Did you realize this Target boycott could really become a real thing? Because it looks like it could really become a real thing. People are really concerned. The stock is down and there is a lot more talk, I'm seeing it, of boycotting Target. Additionally, did you realize Disney's reputation was hurt so badly? I kind of hadn't, I hadn't seen any numbers on it. This is a major hit. Because it's not just the Marvel products. It's not just Mickey Mouse. It's not just the theme parks. It's their entire business. Their entire business is intellectual property and brands. When they damage their brand at the parent company level, at the Disney company level, it affects everything they're doing and selling. They can expect bad things in their future unless they get rid of Bob Iger and clean out all these executives who are pushing all of this nonsense. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love to see your comments. Really appreciate you guys. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.